Live from Washington, D.C., Jay Sekulow Live. Phone lines are open for your questions right now. And now, Chief Counsel for the American Center for Law and Justice, Jay Sekulow.
All right, well, evidently not taking his time because the President of the United States, President Obama, is meeting with President-elect Donald Trump. They're discussing a variety of issues in the transfer of power. We are putting together an agenda for the first 100 days, but we are also on guard for the next 70 days, executive action and other issues as well. An interesting comment came in on Facebook. Logan, let's take, if you have it there, Margie's comment on Facebook, because we've been talking about Israel. We should not forget for a moment the most disastrous foreign policy deal that the administration has put forward, and that is Iran.
That's right. You can get that comment. We'll get it right here. Margie on Facebook said, what will happen with the Iran nuclear deal?
I think it is, Donald Trump has said, and I'm going to go around the horn on this, but I think it is going to be changed. There are still sanctions being lifted as we speak. I think the president is elect, when he is sworn into office, is going to make changes there. He's going to figure out what he can do. Europe, in a sense, some of this has left the station already. However, you've got a president that's a strong personality. Yep. And I wonder if the Russians are going to want to tangle with Donald Trump. Probably not so much. I think the French are going to be, whether they want to or not, are going to be more respectful. And I think they will be, because they've got their own problems that they're dealing with. So I think there's a lot that can be done on the Iran deal. And Iran is very worried about it. They've got Zarif, their foreign minister of foreign affairs, sending out tweets yesterday, please stay with the deal.
Yeah, and that you can't undo this deal. Here's the immediate and kind of the long term on the Iran deal and kind of getting rid of it. Immediately, the U.S. can reimpose very tough sanctions. So we can go back to the kind of place we were as a country with the toughest sanctions on Iran that alone could basically cripple Iran's economy once again. So it does do significant damage. But internationally, we're going to have to rebuild consensus. This is the long term. And you're going to have to give the Trump administration time. This is an uphill fight. To get countries like France, the UK, Russia to go along with reimposing sanctions on Iran. Now, we know this will be an interesting point, as you brought up Russia. The Russians and the Chinese are the ones that have really gone in to, and the Europeans, but Russia and China, especially Russia, even on the arms side, to try and benefit from the Iranian nuclear deal. So with the Trump a future Trump White House kind of being portrayed as one that will have a better relationship with Russia, this is one of those issues you can immediately butt heads on. Yep. And we will see how a President Trump not will just handle this from the U.S. side. We can impose our sanctions like that, and I expect he will do that. But it's how do you handle this at the international side? To really get rid of this deal, you've got to reimpose sanctions at the UN level.
And the sanctions were crippling the Iranian regime and was causing the Iranian regime almost to fall. You want to grab a call, Logan? Do we have time?
Sure, let's go ahead. Let's go to David in Colorado.
Hi, David. Go ahead.
Hi, this is David Lee. I served in the United States Marine Corps.
Thank you, sir.
During 9/11. I'm 36 years old, and I saw the buildings. I was in Washington, D.C. I saw the jet black smoke fill the sky.
Yeah, we were there too.
And I want to thank the United States citizens for electing a true American, because I feel hope for the first time in a long time. I've watched America crumble under a government that has just lied through its teeth. I've seen America just crumble under that, and I feel hope for America's freedom.
I'm hearing that from a lot of the military. It was Wes Smith from our office, senior military advisor, reported that the indications, our polling data indicates, of course, the polls were a lot wrong on a lot of things, but I don't think this one was like 78% of the military voted in favor of Donald Trump to be president of the United States. And our military we have the best military in the world. And David, thank you for your service, but we got to defend our military. We got to stand alongside our military. And I think Jeff Sessions in the Secretary of Defense role could be just what the doctor ordered. As you're hearing, our work is really critical right now. In this period between the presidency, when the president is still in office and when the president leaves, we're very concerned about what's going to happen in Israel and other issues of executive action. In order for us to stand firm and defend Israel, I'm going to ask you to do something. We're in a matching challenge campaign at the ACLJ. Will you go over to ACLJ.org and support our work? ACLJ.org or 1-877-989-2255. It's a matching challenge. Any amount you donate, we're getting a matching gift for. Again, 1-877-989-2255 or ACLJ.org. Back with more in just a moment.
It is a critical time for our nation, and the American Center for Law and Justice is on the front lines, defending life and liberty, engaging the issues that matter most to you and your family. Whether it's working to protect Americans from the dangers of radical Islam and the persecution of Christians, to defending life at the U.S. Supreme Court, to protecting your religious and constitutional freedoms, we could not do this work without you, without your support. And now your support can really make a tremendous difference. For a limited time, you can participate in the ACLJ Matching Challenge. If you make a gift now, it will be doubled. $25 becomes $50. A $100 gift becomes $200. Please stand with the ACLJ right now and call 1-877-989-2255. That's 1-877-989-2255, or go online at aclj.org. Thank you for your support.
Welcome back to the broadcast, everyone. We've got a lot to talk about. Let's go right to the phone calls.
All right, let's go to Joshua in California.
How you doing, guys? I wanted to thank you guys for staying on so long on the election night.
Yeah.
That was such a blessing. I really appreciate it.
We're still recovering from that one, I'll tell you. That was about a 5-hour broadcast for us. But go ahead. We appreciate it, Joshua. Go ahead.
Can Obama do anything about Obamacare between now and the time Trump actually takes the office? And my second quick question is, if Obama does go forward with splitting up Israel's borders, what can Trump do from that point forward? Can he reverse it? Can he change it? Or at that point, is it set in stone?
You get something. If they get it through the Security Council, there's no reversing it.
That's right, but this is why we have international offices, because I can tell you this. If President Obama walks away from from a veto during these last days, we are going to try to find one from one of the other permanent 5 members of that council. Just because President Obama walks away doesn't mean we're going to give up that fight.
No, I think that's exactly correct. And I will tell you this, though. It's not going. That's going to be a tall order, Jordan. We're going to probably you need a member of the P5. That would be Russia. I mean, we go through the list of the P5. I mean, Great Britain. It wouldn't be easy.
No, it would not. And this is why you have to watch very carefully. People can be excited about the incoming Trump presidency and all these interesting and great cabinet appointments, the Supreme Court appointments. But there are things that President Obama can try to do to undermine some of the Trump planned policies, and even when it comes to the Middle East. So what you have to do is fight, be ready to fight still. We need to still be in that defensive posture the next 70 days. Do not let your guard down. If you do, there can be actions taken, just like the nuclear deal with Iran. Yes, the United States can jump right in and reimpose our sanctions, but we can't force the UK to do that. We can't force France to do that immediately. We can't force the UN to do it. So on this issue with Israel, same issue that we're facing. Is that if this goes on too far, can a new President Trump come in and fight back? Absolutely. But it'd be much better if we keep the pressure on. What I'm very concerned about right now, and this is, I think, will resonate with our audience. First of all, do not let your guard down. You can be excited about this. You can be in a celebratory mode, but don't overlook that who the President of the United States, who still is his UN ambassador, who still represents our country. It's the Obama team. And number two, they are in a vindictive mode.
Yep.
Today, they may still be protesting in the streets and they may be crying and shouting and be sad. But next week, they're going to be nasty mode. Yep. And they're smart people who will do everything possible to undermine an incoming Trump presidency and the interest of that Trump presidency, like the support of Israel. And I think that they've had to play along with that because for American politics, you've got to support Israel for so long. And now that Hillary Clinton's not coming into office and it's not their people who will be around, they're going to be on more of a kind of a scorched earth policy, if you will. So watch out for a very vindictive left who's got a couple more months of power left.
I need to tell people what we're doing, and this was a memo that Than circulated among our team in our offices around the country yesterday. And Than, I think this is important for people to reiterate. We'll get right back to the phones then. But you sent out an email internally yesterday to our team, and you want every agency monitored for the next 71 days.
Yeah, every single day, Jay. We've got to monitor every single press release, every single statement, every single memorandum, every single rule that's issued. This is a multiple office, all hands on deck effort for us because the scope of the problem and the scope of the concern is so significant. We can tell you where we expect some of these things, Jay, but we can't tell you everywhere they would be. We have to monitor every single thing every one of these agencies does over the next 70 days.
So our offices in Washington, in Virginia, in New York, I mean, multiple offices, Atlanta, are involved in this. So, folks, including our media headquarters, of course. So we're on top of it. All right, Logan, let's keep getting calls here. We got people who've been holding a long time.
All right, Ron, San Antonio, you're on.
Hey, Ron, go ahead.
Hey, guys. I was reading this morning the ACLU wants to see Trump in court over mass deportation forces, ban on the entry of Muslims into the country, and aggressive surveillance. Punishment of women for abortion, reauthorizing waterboarding.
Well, he's not going to punish women for abortion. He took that back. But when it comes to the other issues you laid out, you're absolutely correct. So what do? So the United States Department of Justice will be defending the administration. That's going to be better than it has been. I could tell you that. And then groups like ours can intervene, usually on behalf of members of the House and Senate. That we will intervene on these cases and file briefs and sometimes litigate as well. And we challenge our own. So, but, Jordan brought up something you need to understand. There are still entrenched bureaucrats inside these agencies that will be there regardless of who is president. Thank you for calling.
They leak info. They are the leaks that you see in the news constantly, and even under the Obama administration. But they are much worse under Republican administration. So they are the leaks. They will undermine their bosses who are political appointees, and they try to undermine the policy. And so I think President Trump will have to deal with this at a level that is kind of unprecedented because of the vindictiveness of our politics and how nasty this campaign began. Remember, most of these bureaucrats are leftist Democrats. And not all of them are going to quit. And it's very difficult to fire them. He can look at reforms on that. I know he wants to look at reforms, but under current law, it is difficult to kind of clean house, if you will. But everybody's got to be prepared. And I think you are going to see the groups like the ACLU who have kind of taken a back step role because they agree with Obama on most things. Remember, look at Guantanamo Bay. Watch those actions the next 70 days.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, you don't say President Trump has no indication on when. I think we could see an increase in people there if it still exists in 70 days.
Yeah, but he's going to try to close it in 70 days.
The Cuba issue, that could be that's something Trump could completely reverse course. We could reimpose our sanctions, reimpose the bans on business, but you'd have to do it very quickly. You can't let these things go on too long.
Here's what the ACLU's head, Anthony Romero, who I know said, if Donald Trump implements his proposed policies, we'll see him in court. So the ACLU is prepared, but so is the ACLJ. So, folks, we are fighting back, and we will be fighting back. That's what we do. So, again, if you want to support the work of the ACLJ, let me encourage you to do that at aclj.org. We're in a matching challenge campaign. Any amount you donate, we're getting a matching gift for.
And you're going to see the hypocrisy on the left. They're going to make the arguments that we were making in court against the Obama administration. They're going to say, overreach, presidents don't have this power. Because to the left, it's not actually about the law or the rule of law. It's about policy. And they've got to be scared. We haven't talked about the Supreme Court, but, I mean, we talked about the idea that we could have lost it for generations. If the right picks are made,
they're going to lose it for generations.
The left, the left has now lost this for decades.
Let's save that one because there'll be some news on that, I think, in the next couple of days. All right, let's go ahead and take some phone.
That's a big teaser.
Well, I mean, I just think that there's a vacancy at the Supreme Court right now. This is not.
So you think he'll announce before he takes office?
I think he's going to announce or right. I mean, he wants to fill that vacancy, and there's still a term to go.
All right.
Let's go to
Ann in Pasadena, California.
Hey, Ann, go ahead. You're on the air.
Oh, hi. I just wanted to know, the news said that Hillary got the popular vote. What does that mean?
What it means is that more people across the country, I think it was by about a little less than 1 million or right at 1 million. It may have been a little less.
200,000. Once they finally
Oh, it's only a 200,000 difference, which means if you did a recount, it would be half of that. She got 200,000 more votes nationally than President-elect Trump got. Having said that, that doesn't matter in our constitutional republic. It's the Electoral College.
Yes, I think we're United States of America. This isn't just one giant nation in that way. So you have to think about it that way, the way states are represented. And also, you look at the fact that if not even a quarter of a major city was removed, it's the majority of the country when you say the populace.
Yeah, because the Electoral College, Republicans not going to spend their time campaigning in California. Could Donald Trump have found another 200,000 votes in California?
Probably.
Yes.
Probably. That wouldn't have changed California, though, the outcome there. So he's not going to spend the time. I mean, you think there are Republicans everywhere, there's Democrats everywhere, but there are only about 15 states at the end of the day that got any significant campaign attention. That's because the Electoral College, like it or not, what it does is make sure that if you're a state like New Hampshire, you won't be completely ignored. Right. And if you're a state like California, you can be a big, powerful, the most popular state, and you might be. Yeah. You might not have. You do have an unbelievable influence by the electoral votes you have, but you may not get the same political attention.
But you said something very important. Was there 200,000 more votes? Logan goes to California a lot, so do you. I mean, was there 200,000 votes in California that if you spent $5 million, you could have gotten?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. But you don't, because we have an electoral college system.
That would be stupid.
And that's why our founders set it up that way. It's a constitutional republic. As you're hearing, our work is really critical right now. In this period between the presidency, when the president is still in office and when the president leaves, we're very concerned about what's going to happen in Israel and other issues of executive action. In order for us to stand firm and defend Israel, I'm going to ask you to do something. We're in a matching challenge campaign at the ACLJ. Will you go over to aclj.org and support our work? aclj.org or 1-877-989-2255. It's a matching challenge. Any amount you donate, we're getting a matching gift for. Again, 1-877-989-2255 or aclj.org. Back with more in just a moment.
It is a critical time for our nation, and the American Center for Law and Justice is on the front lines, defending life and liberty, engaging the issues that matter most to you and your family. Whether it's working to protect Americans from the dangers of radical Islam and the persecution of Christians, to defending life at the U.S. Supreme Court, to protecting your religious and constitutional freedoms, we could not do this work without you, without your support. And now your support can really make a tremendous difference. For a limited time, you can participate in the ACLJ Matching Challenge. If you make a gift now, it will be doubled. $25 becomes $50. A $100 gift becomes $200. Please stand with the ACLJ right now and call 1-877-989-2255. That's 1-877-989-2255, or go online at aclj.org. Thank you for your support.
We are taking your calls in this last segment of the broadcast. Let's go right to them, Logan. Let's go to line 6. We got some people who have been holding, so I'm signing some books for some folks.
All right, let's go to Karen. You're on the air. Oregon.
Now that Hillary lost the election, will the security clearance for her and all of her staff be pulled, and who makes that decision?
That's made by the Secretary of State and the Department of Defense, and I no question in my mind it will all. Well, I'm sure it's already pulled. She conceded. Once she conceded, Jordan, that would have been it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, she may still technically have a clearance available to her if people were trying to make her aware of documents. So that could be an important point to look at. But I think, again, Donald Trump will decide, and also President Obama, because he could issue the pardon. If the pardons are issued, then a President Trump can't really go after, because the pardons will be issued, and so it should be clear.
But still get rid of the security clearance.
Yes, the security clearance issue, I think that will be handled in due course.
If not already.
Let me tell you something. I don't think Huma Abedin or Hillary Clinton are going to have any access to any more security information for the rest of their careers.
Done. Finished.
Because even a future Democrat, they're not touching people like Huma. They're not getting those people around them. There will be a whole new list Democrat. Donna Brazil's gone. That whole DNC movement, they're all out the door. Yeah.
They are. CNN violated a lot of trust on this. All right, go ahead. Who do we have next?
All right, let's go ahead. Let's go to let's do Sandy in Norfolk, Virginia.
Sandy, I'm also sending you a copy of our book because you've been holding for 30 minutes. Go ahead, Sandy.
Well, I already have a book, and I've read it, and it's wonderful.
Well, I'm sending you a signed one, and you can send it to your friends. Go ahead.
Okay, I'll do that.
All right.
I'm just so thankful that we, the people, have spoken, and our Constitution is going to be upheld. Religious liberties are going to be upheld, and law and order hopefully will be restored to this United States of America.
Well, I hear your enthusiasm, I hear your excitement, but as Than Bennett and Jordan have been saying, I'll go to Than on this, you're going to have to remain, the American people are going to have to remain vigilant, not just now, but against these bureaucrats that are entrenched in these agencies.
Yeah, and if you have any doubt of that, I would encourage people to read Undemocratic for a ton of examples of exactly what Jordan's been talking about. Listen, we just heard the president give very gracious remarks to Donald Trump, but he said his number one priority is facilitating a transition. I don't buy that. I am telling you, the last 70 days will be about trying to entrench a legacy and pushing policy forward. You've got to stay vigilant.
Comments are coming in. Gary just said President Obama should address all the rioters directly. There's kind of pockets of rioting, pockets of protesting. There's protests in L.A. One of my friends actually is a protester in L.A., and I sent him a message, and I said, look, I'm actually not going after you from like a, how dare you do this? I said, you have absolutely the right to protest. I said, but what's the goal here? I just don't understand.
I had no idea.
They can't, Trump has to go. Well, how's that going to happen? It's not going to happen. Well,
yeah,
so that's where it gets a little caught up. So
they hurt themselves.
Exactly, just because you're wasting your time.
Yep.
Clearly don't have a whole lot going on. Let's go ahead and take a call. Let's go to Tony in Iowa.
All right, Tony, go ahead. You're on the air.
Hey, thanks, Jay. Thanks for taking my call. My question is, I don't know if Donald Trump would do it or not, but could he put in a mandate for each abortion clinic to have to show an ultrasound to the women before they had an abortion?
That's really the state's prerogatives and the actual facilities. The states, there are state laws, but here's where it does come in, Jordan. When those are challenged and Planned Parenthood challenges those laws because they don't like them because they're so effective in stopping abortions. I speak at a lot of events for crisis pregnancy centers and women's health centers. The judges make a big difference. And by the way, we have a team in the ACLJ. We haven't had them very active the last 8 years, but they will be activated again to deal with judges because it's not just the Supreme Court, it's the Court of Appeals, it's the district courts, all of that, and that's how those laws come into impact.
So you've got the judicial nominations that the Trump administration will be able to make. And it won't just be the high-profile Supreme Court nominations, but also, as you say, the district court, the circuit courts, but also the Department of Justice. The U.S. government can now come in on the side of the states who are passing pro-life legislation. What we saw for the last 8 years was the U.S. government coming on the side of Planned Parenthood and the abortion industry. So that will be a shift as well. You will have the U.S. government, I'm assuming here because of the Trump statements on policy when it comes to the life issue, the U.S. government will come alongside the state of Texas or Iowa and defend the pro-life laws that are being challenged, which they will be, by the abortion industry. So you have new judges in place at all these different levels of the federal government, but also a Department of Justice that will come in and defend these laws.
Yeah, so that becomes a very important element, and that's part of the fight. All right, let's go. Who's next, Logan?
Sarah, you're on the air.
Hey, Sarah, go ahead.
I call you at big events with my happiness. Would it be a crime to leak documents? Could they be getting? Can you go at it that way within the Trump?
Yeah, it is a crime.
Right.
It is a crime, but the reporters won't reveal their sources, and that we have protections for reporters in our country under First Amendment. So because of that, we also have whistleblower side. That's something different. That's different than a leak, by the way. Yep. But leaks are illegal. People can be listen. When people are found to have shared any kind of classified info and things like that, they go to jail for a long time. And you can for some of them, the further you go, you could be up for the death penalty because of the kind of classified information you shared. And so leaks are illegal. The problem is that the people who are leaking the kind of political info from the bureaucracy are doing it to reporters, and the reporters then protect their sources.
You know, it's interesting. The president-elect Trump was supposed to meet with the president for 15 minutes. They ended up meeting for an hour and a half, which tells you what's going on here. And I'm sure I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall in that meeting, that's for sure. You think it was...
Yeah, it sounded like the Looney Tunes were like outside the door, and you're like, smash, crash.
All right, let's go take another call.
Sonia's calling in Charleston, South Carolina.
Hey, Sonia, go ahead. You're on the air.
I wanted to find out we've learned a lot about this election. Could it be something that can be, when the president, the existing president's in office, and then there's a new president-elect comes in, that there's a rule or something that the existing president can't make any changes.
No, because the Constitution says that president is president of the United States until the day that the new president is sworn in, and that's for the continuity of government. You don't want to mess with that. But then quickly, that doesn't mean you don't follow up and try to block what the president might do, the existing president.
It's exactly why we've been pointing to this 70 days for literally a year now, Jay, because, listen, he still has all of the Article 2 powers, and he has shown he goes beyond his Article 2 powers. That's why we've got to keep paying attention.
All right, let's grab the last call, Logan.
All right, Ryan in Orlando.
Hey, Ryan, you're on. Go ahead.
Hello.
Yes, sir. You're on the air.
Hey, it's Ryan. I'm calling from Orlando, Florida. I just wanted to say America has to make America great. We can't expect someone else to go to the gym and bring us back the results of the muscles. We have to do something about it. Until then,
well, Ryan. That's exactly what we're saying. This is not Jordan. This is not a one-person job here. I mean, the president, and there's going to be thousands of people appointed. All of that is important, and who those people are is also very important.
Yeah, and you have to be realistic. The House and the Senate are Republican, at least for 2 years under this. That's it. Right. That's all your guarantee is for 2 years. That will be a first big political test of the Trump. I know we're getting ahead of ourselves here, but it's only a couple years away. Will be, can you hold on to those majorities?
George's already on the election. He's on the next election already. We haven't even got the guy sworn in.
But second is that you've got a Senate which is still very closely divided. The filibuster is still alive. The Democrats are going to be vindictive and nasty to appease their liberal base. I don't think that you can expect any cooperation from them whatsoever.
Right.
Because of that, you're going to have to fight very hard. You're right. You cannot expect Donald Trump to do this all on his own.
We've got a lot of work ahead, especially on the issue of Israel. I want to ask you to stand with us as we stand with Israel. We've got a matching challenge campaign going on right now, which means any amount you donate to the ACLJ, we're getting a matching gift for. $10 is $20, $20 is $40, $500 is $1,000. That's how it works. ACLJ.org, that's ACLJ.org, or 1-877-989-2255. ACLJ.org, or 877-989-2255.
It is a critical time for our nation, and the American Center for Law and Justice is on the front lines, defending life and liberty, engaging the issues that matter most to you and your family. Whether it's working to protect Americans from the dangers of radical Islam and the persecution of Christians, to defending life at the U.S. Supreme Court, to protecting your religious and constitutional freedoms, we could not do this work without you, without your support. And now your support can really make a tremendous difference. For a limited time, you can participate in the ACLJ Matching Challenge. If you make a gift now, it will be doubled. $25 becomes $50. A $100 gift becomes $200. Please stand with the ACLJ right now and call 1-877-989-2255. That's 1-877-989-2255, or go online at aclj.org. Thank you for your support.